I'm going to go over one of my newest custom build plans with you, talk to you a little bit about how I decided on this, what all I did, a little bit about what we're going to do performance-wise. Really not a lot because this is already a gearbox that's been upgraded. We're just going to do the spring, but I'll touch on that. Mainly just a lot of 3D printing on this and just different things I've learned about 3D printing along the way. So it should turn out really good. I'm not sure if I'd love this gray, but it's the first time I've tried it, but I'm going to probably go with it. I just need to let everything sit for another day before I really handle it and put it together. So that's why you'll still see some tape on some areas and stuff. So it's dry, but not, fully cured and dried, because I use typically oil-based enamels because those spray paints are going to last the longest and be the most durable. Anyway, let's talk about it, right? So what we got here is a gearbox from one of the new Emerbu V2 blasters. So like the MK8 or the M4, basically the same blaster, right? With just different handguards on them. And so that already had metal gears, upgraded high-speed motor. It's already got an upgraded spring, but nothing crazy. It's about 275 FPS out of the box. So I'm going to push the limits pretty hard on it. I'm going to go to an M110. So these can handle M110s. I've done it before in them. Just know if you go that route, you are wearing everything out in this faster just because it's working everything harder. Now, I do like to mention, if you use a gel blaster enough, regardless of the spring, the stock spring or upgrade springs, if you use it enough, you wear things out, you need to service it, you need to replace parts. Going to a big spring like this, you're just going to probably accelerate that process, right? The safest big spring you probably want to go to is like an M95 for longevity, maybe M100. So M110's pushing it. This is a spring from a brand that you can get on Amazon. So if you click the link in the description for my Amazon storefront, there's a folder or list there of springs. And there's two brands that basically sell springs on Amazon. And of course, they're labeled for airsoft, but they're identical. So there's Lancer Tactical, and then there's this one, which is a Chinese company called Chicon. And they both have a variety of springs. And this right here is from that brand, Chicon, and this is an M110. But as you can see, it's made by SHS, and it's made in Hong Kong. So really, they're just like most Amazon sellers reselling somebody else's product, so these are anywhere, I think, around $9, right? And different size ones can get to you faster, but they're all prime, so they're all going to get to you, within 2 days. Some of them are same day or overnight, depending where you live. So I'm going to put that in there. That should push it to about, at least around 330 FPS. So that's pretty cool. Now this gearbox, you can see right now, I had to cut the wires for something else I had been doing. So this is just kind of was set up for testing it before I started, just to make sure it works. That'll all get cleaned up when I get to the point of actually putting it together. All right, so I had a bunch of parts and pieces, but I was missing a barrel nut. And I found that printing threads for barrel nuts, even when I print them super, strong, print the barrel nut, it's just so thin that with all that stress and pressure when you're tightening it on there, you can break them. So I actually I had a bunch of the M4 V2 connectors, which are made for that different type of handguard. And then I basically printed a piece that just made it longer. So that way I have those factory plastic threads that are in like nylon. So that's why you can kind of see the color difference here on this. And again, since it's going to be inside the handguard, I'm not worried about that. So that was one thing I did. Here's just the outer, right? So nothing really that interesting to talk about there. And then here is the handguard I put together. So I printed the handguard, printed the separate rails, connected everything, painted it all out really nice. These actually will get removed, and then that way that'll be able to screw in through there to lock kind of it tight against the barrel nut, right? So that's why it's kind of extra deep like that there. And otherwise the grip is on there through using rivet nuts that are in the inside. You can kind of see it right there, maybe. But anyway, rivet nuts that go down on the inside, so when you're pulling up against them, it's really going to hold things nice and tight. So that's the handguard that I designed. I used a lot of this knurling on this blaster. That's just kind of the theme I was going with. All right, so obviously the outer is going to go through there. This is just a stabilizer piece that goes in here, you know, on the outer to stabilize it. And then this knurled piece right here is really just going to go on the outside from about, so this is where like an M4A1, that triangle or sight comes off. So this is just going to cover that piece. So you got that kind of nice knurled piece there. And then we'll go to, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to use for the front, you know, when it comes to a fake suppressor or whatever. All right, so then we'll get back to the receiver. So obviously it's been painted out. You can see for the ejection port cover, basically customize that again, use the knurling there. And then here on the lower receiver, did a lot too, where got some, you know, customized, my little logo sticker will go here and here, otherwise just kind of tying it all together. Now this is for the pin that comes out right here, right? So that pin that goes through your gearbox. And then this I had to leave open so that when I screw the selector back on, I can screw it on. And then I just made this little skull plug that'll plug in there and push in place. So I don't know if you can see the skull really good in the video or not. That's what I was doing there. Painted out a grip because I didn't have a black one, so painted it out kind of with that textured black. On the back here, obviously regular buffer tube. This piece is just kind of a buffer tube. I guess I don't even know what we call it exactly, but this piece goes on like this. Just kind of looks cool. So that was something I haven't done before. Going with this stock, right? So painted it out, and then also put these panels on the side, and then this riser. So basically I took these rivet nuts, right? And they're, you know, mounted in from the bottom so that this is on here nice and tight. This will go on here. This will mount down nice and tight against this. And then we'll have this little cheek riser right here that would actually be able to go up and down. So, I mean, a little crazy, but as you guys know, I do kind of do some extreme custom builds because I'm trying to do different things that you guys haven't seen before. And that's just kind of where I'm at with that one. Here's a rail riser that'll go up on the top. Made a two-piece one. And this one does have the sight through it as well. So I won't even put like a rear sight on here. We'll just have that sight through there, and then there will be a front sight and then some sort of optic up on the rail. So that's the build plan. I guess we're just going to call it my M4V2 knurling model. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call it or what I'll label it as, but it should be pretty cool. Excited to put it together. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. Might hit it with a clear coat to give this a little more, it's so dull looking, this color, this gray paint that I used, and that was something I experimented with for the first time. So I might hit it with something after I put it together and see if I like the looks better. Otherwise, I mean, I don't hate it. It's just different than anything I've done before and just not loving it. So there you go. That's the build plan. Gave you a lot of information there. If you guys are interested in the 3D printing, again, all these files are files that I get for free, and then, you know, a lot of them are things that I modify significantly using slicers and different software, but I don't actually model specific parts per se. If you're looking for parts to get printed, there's a link, again, in the description of a company that you can get in touch with. They happen to be in Utah, but I believe they ship anywhere, and you can have them print things for you. And of course, if you live in any medium-sized city, you're going to have all kinds of people on Facebook Marketplace that are offering 3D printing services. You can get in touch with them, and that way you can get things printed if you really want pieces printed, because I don't deal with printing pieces for other people. It's just, to be honest, it's not really worth my time. So, questions, post them below. Comments, please like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways every month on my YouTube channel. Over $200 in custom blasters and accessories in those different contests, so make sure you pay attention when those videos are posted. The contest videos always explain all the rules for how you participate and how you get entry credits. Thanks.